I was told, and I actually made sure that I discussed, about what I can speak on and what I was told, because I've made contact with management here, just about local music, that there were going to be mechanisms, that they were already working on mechanisms months ago before this protest even started.
And I can say that's true. I can say that's true. What it is, when Philip March first got here, he asked me that question: what do I think about local music?
Dope16.com.
What's up? It's your man Beezy. It's Dope16tv. I told you a little while back that we're bringing Dope16tv back and trying to help support local artists and trying to reach their goals and get them information and just bring some awareness and exposure, just like we originally did when I started Dope16.com. This first episode is about local music and radio. I dropped a blog recently about a recent protest with radio, and really, to be honest, this video is it's not about that. It's just about getting information out to how local artists can approach radio, not just in the local Kentucky area, but radio in general. I got my man Herlon Robinson. We sat in the studio with John Woo, with myself, John Woo, and Herlon, and we just basically touched on different aspects of getting songs out there, marketing strategies, just important things. And like I said, Herlon even said, if you want to reach out to him via email, you can do that. He has a long tenure in radio, as a radio personality. He's also an artist himself. He's been working marketing years, even outside of radio. So, this is someone with a lot of knowledge and first-hand knowledge of exactly the information that you need to hear. And if you're a local artist, and if you're just a fan out there and kind of wonder how things, come about with how artists that you hear get on the radio and just about that process. And that's really what this is about. It's just about the process. The beginning part of this interview that you heard actually plays at the end. There was a slight issue with the camera, but we still recorded the conversation. So at the end of the actual video section, I'm going to bring the Dope16 marquee back up, and then you can continue on for I think the last 13 minutes is just the audio of that conversation, and that actually touches directly on what was talked about in my blog and with the radio protest. Like I said, the rest of the video was just about radio and local artists in general, and in terms of Louisville, Kentucky, and local music being played in Louisville, Kentucky. Like I said, when the marquee comes back up, I think it's around 20 something minutes into this video, you can listen to the audio. I will take all the audio from this entire episode of Dope16tv because it's very important. I'm gonna take the audio and I'm gonna present that as a separate podcast. So artists can take it and listen to, because there's some nice jewels in this. Trust me, Herlon knows what he's talking about, and I really appreciate him doing what he did. So I'm just gonna step out, let you watch this, and like I said, at the end, you can listen to the first part of that conversation that you heard in the beginning of the video.
No, go ahead, keep talking.
I don't think there's been a time in the last 15 years of music or hip hop or whatever where an artist went home, made a song, a no-name artist, went home, made a song, woke up the next day, went to the radio station, said, here you go, and then blew up. No. It don't happen like that.
It doesn't.
Definitely doesn't happen.
It doesn't. And with me being on the radio, it doesn't even happen for legitimate artists that signed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even happen that way for them. People would be amazed at the amount of music we get from legitimate artists that record labels are sending us that they think is the next single that they want us to play. So even if it's hard for national sign artists to get on, what really makes you think that that's going to happen for you as a local artist? What I do believe that a station, any station, depending on the size, and what I'm saying here, so listen closely to what I'm saying, depending on the size and the quality of the local music base supplying that particular music. And I say that particular music, so that means that covers any genre of music. So let's not just look at rap music. I think, there's so many different genres of music out there that guys are playing. Rock, for instance, country, for instance. There's a local presence for those two genres. Heavy metal. And it goes on and on and on. Even in our city, there's groups that do jazz. There's groups that do, neo soul. Okay, so any genre of music. I think that you have to understand that there is no obligation from the station that says that we have to. And so when I'm looking at Facebook and I'm seeing those words used, the station has an obligation. The station has this. Not really. And there's no station across the United States of America has an obligation. They either choose to, based on whatever mechanism or model they have in place to consider local music, whatever that policy is, however they do it, whether it's done on a panel, whether it's done by the PD or the music director or the DJs. Yes. No, they don't have to. We don't have to, But do I think that a station should consider? Yeah. So I do understand part of the movement, but Wu and I were talking, and he made a good point that I think the issue is that the generation that is screaming about play our hits, play our hits, play our hits, don't really know at one time we played your hits.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of rappers out there in that wave before you, maybe 2 times before you, that remember coming up here on the station and being interviewed and battle rapping on Sunday, you know what I mean? And hearing their stuff and coming up here doing Derby and getting on there. I mean, the list goes on. We're talking about Louis Keys. We're talking about Yo Group, Slaughterhouse. We're talking about B. Sims. We're talking about Native, Father Ja. We're talking about, John Doe. All those cats have been up here on the station. And even guys I've even forgotten because
I remember back in Thoroughbreds, back in the 90s.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just saying, so it's not like it's something that hasn't been done. But when you read the Facebook post, it gives the impression like we've never done it. And we want to be the first, and you should be doing it because, but no, that's not the case. We have done it. I was part of that. I was part of that time. I was the one that was listening to the local music at that time, helping decide what should be put on, what should not be put on. You see, but just for them to think that, okay, you're obligated as a station. No, when you think about the size of that audience compared to the greater audience that listens, that helps us get our rating, it's a very small percentage, I mean, look at it yourself. I mean, and believe me, I'm not knocking Young Diesel and his movement. So let's get that out there.
Yeah.
Let's get that out there because I don't need nobody putting nothing on my Facebook. I don't need nobody talking about he a punk ass nigga and all that stuff. No, not even that. I commend him for coming up with that movement and saying, yes, we want you to consider it. But what's interesting is there was so much talk on the Facebook page, but then when you saw it in reality and you saw the fruits of his labor, he didn't get a return on his investment. And that's all I'm saying. When I looked out the window and I just saw 10 guys, but yet when I looked at the Facebook post, everybody was chiming in. What should be done? I hear you. Yeah, fuck them niggas, whatever. They should play your shit, whatever. Yeah. But when I looked out the window, there was only 10. So if that was such a concern of folks signing off for him, then where were you?
Yeah, they should have showed up.
Right. Exactly. Where were you? Where were you? And again, I'll say again, I'm not talking about Young Diesel. I don't know him to talk about him. I don't know him, but I did talk to him on the phone and I stated the same thing. Should we consider? Yes. Does he have a valid point that the station should go back? And you notice I use the word, should go back and use the mechanism that was once in place to consider local music? Yes, I do. Because we considered it to the point where we wanted it played. We even came up with a package. You see, so we even wanted to play. We even gave you a package that said, this is what you need to do to get your stuff on the radio.
You're referring to the local artist package.
The local artist package.
It was
right. And that was when Mark Gunn was here, and that was when Tim Gerard was here, and I give them mad props.
Yeah, I even had a copy of one of those.
So, and I give them mad props, because at the time, Mark was, the PD, and then Tim came right in, and they kept that mechanism in place. That's because it was a different time then. It was a different time then. Things change, management changes, management's ideology changes, and I know for a fact under Mainline, are they conservative? Yes, they are. I work here, I know. So I'm not saying nothing that anybody who works for Mainline is going to hear say, oh man, Herlon overstepped his boundaries. Oh man, he might not have a job. No, I'm still going to have a job.
Yeah.
I had a job before, I have a job after, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm still going to have a job. It's just that they have to understand is that the changing of the guard, ideology changes, and then after we did the local music, and then there was some violence associated with something we were trying to do, management said, oh no, we're not doing local music no more. We're not doing it no more, because look what happened. Because then the station became liable for what could have happened. because the station's name was on it.
Right.
So now management says, okay, so this is what we get for doing local music? We're not doing it no more. So know what happened, know the history, know what took place before you start saying that, oh, they ain't never played our stuff and they should and they obligated. No. It should be considered, and it should be considered for those artists that have crossed their T's and dotted their I's. It should be considered for those artists that understand the business, because at the end of the day, it is a business. Now, we can give you your 15 minutes of fame, but that's just 15 minutes of fame, and then it's gone. All right? The way that we look at it, the way I used to look at it when I was doing the local music, was when I listened to an artist's tape, the first thing I closed my eyes and said this: is this commercial? Does it sound like it could be played anywhere? And if I was driving through the city right now from somewhere else and I heard this song, what would I think about it? Compared to a song that's played before it, or compared to a song that played after it. So that's how I listen to the music. Now, when I listen to it, I'm like, wow, that hook's hot. He's not on there talking about, yeah, all right, oh, okay, here we go, all right, yeah, okay, yeah. And then, first thing out of his mouth, fuck a nigga sucking. I can't play that.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't play that because the FCC stipulates what we can and cannot play, which is considered offensive because we can be fined. That's why they put the delay on there. People don't know that. After that Janet Jackson fiasco with the breast dropping out, which I didn't mind, I'm just going to say, none of us really mind, honestly. We're hoping the other one fell out. Janet McNutt fell out for me. A little soft porn there. But when that happened, the FCC stepped in and said, y'all got to start putting that delay on there now.
Right.
You got to start putting that delay because you can be sued. You can be sued. If I play something so totally offensive on the radio and somebody calls and they play it back, the station can be fined. The station can be fined.
We'll take one second. Dope16tv, man, Beezy. I'm here with radio personality Herlon Robinson.
Yes.
Definitely here give us some great knowledge. I definitely don't want to stop him with that. I got producer John Woo over here with me.
What up?
That's how he does it.
Yeah, just
how he does it.
He's a ninja. That's what it is. He's a ninja. He's a ninja.
As you see, we're definitely having we're listening to great knowledge and just having a conversation about local music and the impact and just how you should approach local music and how the station looks at it, how artists should look at. And I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
That I think that people really should know in terms of radio, because of course I put the blog out and there's been some reaction to that blog, but I think it's very, very important for people to hear someone who has a lot of experience in radio to actually, speak some of the points that we were touching on. But the question I have for you, in terms of radio play, where in an artist's career, or let's say his branding, should radio come in? It shouldn't be the day after he does a song.
Right. Now, what needs to take place is that, do I believe that it's a piece of the puzzle? Yes. Radio play is a piece of the puzzle. If you're using radio play in order to get additional radio play from other radio stations and talk to a label about getting a deal, because all of those things are important to them. All of those things are important. But is it the first thing that you wake up concerned about? No, it shouldn't be the first thing that you wake up and being concerned about. What you should be concerned about is, how am I marketing my product? You see, you yourself as a rapper, you are a product. Just like Coke, that's a product.
Right.
All right. So it comes down to marketing. It comes down to creating what's called law of supply and demand. You've got to create that demand for your product. Okay. So you have to initially have a fan base that is wanting that product, that is going to appreciate hearing you on the radio. If you're only giving that product and you've only sold maybe 50 CDs and you think because somebody said your stuff is hot and it should be on the radio, doesn't mean it should be on the radio. It just doesn't. Is it the be all end all? No, it's not. It's not the be all end all. Do I think it serves a purpose in your mission to where you're trying to get? Yes, but not just one radio station, because a record label is not going to look at if you're being played on one radio station. They're going to look at, are you being played on multiple radio stations? Are they going to look at, do you have your business part together? Okay. How much money is it going to take for me to invest in you additionally to get you to that next level? If you are an investment with no return on investment, I am not going to invest because my profit margin is what concerns me. Okay, that's what concerns me. But if I see that, okay, not only are you getting radio play in Louisville, but you're getting it in Cincinnati and you're getting it all over the place. And like I explained to a group of guys downstairs the other day, I said the reason that it is important that you take that package and read it and understand it, because it will help you not only in Louisville, that blueprint works no matter what city you go to. Right. You see, everybody's looking at Louisville as being, but I don't see you marching on Cincinnati. I don't see you marching on Indianapolis. I don't see you. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. You're so concentrated on what's happening here. Okay. When if you look at the big picture, if I do all the things that I should be doing, and it's a way how you approach a radio station. I tell cats all the time, this is a business. This is a business. No matter how you cut it, it's a business. We have a PD. We used to have a music director and a PD, but we have a PD who makes all the choices here. It is his station. There's an operation manager over him, and then there's a general manager over him, and then there's a consultant that we consult with that helps us determine what music he thinks we should play based on our area, based on people saying what they want to hear. People say, well, y'all play the same old stuff over and over again. That's because the majority of folks, that's what they want to hear. Mm-hmm. It's not us playing it. Right. Because if it was me, I'd be playing the stuff that y'all like. Yeah. I'd be playing the stuff that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'd be playing what I like. EB be playing what he like. Then Q would be playing what he like. Keisha played what she liked. Then the station itself would have no identity. You see, that's what they don't understand. The reason the station plays the music that it plays over and over again is to create an identity for the station, because that's where the business aspect come in. If we all played our likes and dislikes or whatever the case may be, the station itself would not have any identity. Now, you as an artist, how do you fit into the identity of that station? You see? See, that's where now the skill set comes in. Do I have songs that fit what they're playing? Because that's their identity. We don't do hardcore rap. We don't do rap that's cussing. We don't do rap that talks about slanging and banging and all that other stuff that you hear. And the artists that we're playing, yeah, they have songs like that, but the songs that we're playing are the ones that are commercial, that are being played in the club. Even though in the club you hear the dirty version, on the radio we can't play it. And I hope they notice that. We don't play it. Now, we'll edit out some songs and we know what they are because you can't get it all out, but we get out enough where we don't run into infractions with the FCC, which I talked about earlier. Exactly. So what artists have to understand is it is a business. Case in point, if I'm an artist, I'm not a rapper, I'm a singer. I'm a musician. Been doing it for over 30 years. Still doing it with a 7-piece band that tours with a horn section. So I know what I'm talking about. But if I was a rapper, the first thing that I'm going to do is make sure that I represent my product. I am that product, which means I have to market myself. Right? So I got to make sure that this product that I have is marketable. All right? That is marketable. That is packaged correctly. Okay? That for every song, if there's 3 songs on there that I think should be played on the radio, I should have 3 radio edited songs. I should have 3 remixes for that song. For the radio, for the DJs in my city, okay, an extended version, an instrumental for the DJs. All right? So I should be attacking the radio from different sides. I should have the DJs on board with me because my stuff is hot. They're playing it in the clubs. People are dancing to it. People are asking for it. And then when I go to the radio station, I have my package together. Then I set up an appointment to sit down with the decision maker and say, hey, want to talk to you about my product. And if you have a chance, I'd like to let you to take a listen to it. This is the song I feel should be played. One that I'm getting some airplay on in Cincinnati or whatever the case may be. DJs around here are really pushing it really hard. The crowd's really loving it. And I just feel it fits your format. You know, would like to take a time to set up a meeting with you so you can take a listen to it to see if it's something that you would consider playing on your station. So you see, I've developed that dialogue. You see, I've developed that. Now I've got the appointment. But it's all business. Again, I keep referring to that. It's business first. So now that I've got that appointment and you're the program director, and I say to you, hey, BZ, man, it's a pleasure, nice meeting you. This is my product, and you see it. The first thing you're going to look at, you're going to look at me, and you're going to see how am I dressed, what am I talking about, how do I carry myself, if I'm legitimate about my business. That's the first thing. So if I can't give you a business card, I'm not legitimate. Not saying you have to have a business card to be legitimate, but when you deal with the radio or you deal with anyone that's a decision maker in whatever business, you have to come prepared. Now that I've got that and I give you my product, you're going to look for certain codes. Is this thing copywritten? Sound scan. You feel me? All those things you're looking at. And when you listen to it, I've got to be prepared for either good feedback or no feedback, right? Exactly. Now, that works two ways now. If you like it, now, even though you may say, man, that song is hot. My gosh, I like it. Doesn't mean you're going to play it. You're just giving me feedback that is hot. Now, if you are a business person, you now have become a resume builder for me. You see? Yeah. Because you cannot say that you did not get it. You cannot say that you didn't like it. All right?
Right. Exactly.
Now, another thing you can do is find out who the mix DJs are on that radio, because they have a little more leadway as to what they can play and not play, because they are mix DJs. So all they got to do is play what we're playing, but they can mix anything they want to into it. You see what I mean? So now Woo's a mix DJ, and I'm on my way out, and I say, so you guys got mix DJ? Yeah, man, John, Woo's one of our mix DJs. Oh, really? Is he here? Yeah. All right. I'm on my way out. I see this cat. I'm like, hey, man, I heard you got a hot mix show. You know what I'm saying? Look, check your CD out for me real quick and tell me what you think. Here's my business card. You give me a call. Just want some feedback from you. Now I built a contact now. You've got my stuff. Now I need to follow up. Now I'm going to follow up with John before I follow up with you. You're the PD. You too busy. You getting music all the time. But I know that he can play it. Yeah. I'm going to call John Woo. Hey, Woo, what's going on, man? I saw you at the station. What you think, man? That stuff is hot, man. I like it. All right, so what do you think, man? You think I can get a little spin on that? Yeah, man, I see what I can do for you. No matter when he spins it, if I got my sound scan, guess what? I get credit for it. Exactly. So I take that same ideology and I go to Cincinnati. And guess what? I set up an appointment with the PD there. But I tell him that, yes, man, I just met with the PD in Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know if you know David March. He told me he was from up in this area. Oh, yeah, I know Philip. Yeah, he used to be the PD here at the Wiz. Yeah, he's the PD in out the Louisville, man. He thinks it's a hot cut, man. And one of his mixed DJs, I know you know Woo. Yeah, man, I heard about Woo. Actually, he's spinning it in his show. I just gave you a lesson, Business 101.
Yeah, that was so important.
I just gave you Business 101 because it's about building that resume to get your stuff on the radio. So you're right. You just can't wake up in the morning and say, play my stuff on the radio. Exactly. You have to be business minded in how you're doing it. You have to understand marketing. You have to understand it because it's a business. Now I've got you on board, even though you're my resume builder. I got Woo playing my stuff in the mix show. I've done gone to Cincinnati. I done did the same thing, right? So now I'm going to head on. Where am I going now? Let's see, who else has got a station? I'm going to head over to Indy. I'm going to call up to Indy, make an appointment to sit down with the PD or the music director. I'm going to say the same thing, but I'm going to repeat it 2 times.
Right. Starts to add up.
Yeah.
Now, I've done hit Indy, and I've done, you know what? And then it's a business. You got to call back. You got to establish that rapport. You got to say, yo, man, next time you throwing a party, let me know, man. Give me a call. Love to come out and check your set out. That's going to say a lot to him about me. He's going to be like, okay, man, I'm going to holler at you for real, though. So I'm like, so when you throwing a party? Well, I got a little set. Okay, I'm going to drive up. And I'm going to say, I'm like, yo, man, what's up, Woo? He's going to think, oh, okay, this brother's on his game.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. What's up with you, man? Yeah, I'm just in town. Thought I'd come check you out. You know, I got some more music for you if you want to check it out, if you got time to check it out. He's going to think, well, dude. All right, he's showing me love.
Yeah, exactly.
So you see what I'm saying? He's showing me. I'm not asking him for nothing. I'm not asking for nothing.
Just building a relationship with him.
Building a relationship. But he's dropping my stuff in his mix show. And then I say to him, man, let me know when y'all have some hot shows up here, man. Love to come on and get on. Guess what he's going to do?
He's going to consider you. Get on. Exactly.
Business 101. And I use that same template over and over and over and over to build my resume. So that when I want my stuff played, I can legitimately say, my stuff is on this mix show. It's on this radio station. Here's my sound scan. Here's what I need.
Got you.
You see, that's why I say it's a business. And if sometimes you have to sit down with the right folks to understand the business. And then so you can get an idea as to what you want to do, because what can kill a protest is if it starts off on the wrong foot and goes in the wrong direction. Then it's just a small movement. It doesn't, you want a movement, not a protest. You want a movement, you see, and most of it starts from a grassroots. Right. And that's where it starts, and then you get a groundswell, and then it becomes a movement. You know what I'm saying? You protest things that you really dislike. How can you really dislike something you really don't know how it runs?
Right.
Yeah.
You see?
Exactly.
So I hope folks heard what I said. How can you dislike something that you really don't know how it runs?
It's called ignorance.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't dislike it. You know what I mean? Unless you know how that mechanism runs. Right. All right? You can't really dislike it. You may not like its actions or what its perceived actions are. I think that's what it is. It's the perceived actions of the station and not truly the actions of the station, because we used to play it. There is a mechanism in place. It's just, are we going to open that back up again to consider local music? Yeah. Now, I've seen some things on Facebook that said, we talked to B96.5, something's coming. You know, what it is, I'm not the PD. I wasn't in on the meetings. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
Well, I'll say just speaking on that, it touched on a great point of actually putting up, before we can get to that part, but putting a marketing strategy together. That's great. And I'm just praying that people stop this video, bookmark this, take this part of the video and really study it. Right. Because a lot of people go into this stuff with no strategy at all.
You got to have a strategy, man.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, with the protests where you don't really know what's going on, like you said, it's ignorance. I used it quite a few times in my blog. Right. I mean, you can't be led by ignorance. Right. And I definitely agree with that point.
And another thing, and what people don't understand about me, radio is not my only job. Mm-hmm. I work in marketing every day. That's my job. I work in public affairs every day. I work in community engagement every day. That's my real job. That's my 9 to 5. Yeah. So when I'm telling you about marketing, it's not that I'm just speaking off the top of my head. It's something I do every day. I do it every day. That's how I pay my house note, my cars, everything else. That's my job. Yeah. So when I'm telling you about marketing, it is something that I know. I'm going back to finish my degree in business and marketing. So I'm not telling you something that I don't know. All right. I'm not telling you that just because I'm just trying to act like I'm knowledgeable. No, I'm giving you knowledge because I've read, because I do day in and day out, and not to be redundant, just kind of going backwards a little bit. Not only do you have to have your package, it is best for you to have your own publishing company so that you retain all the rights to their songs, whether you do them or someone else does them. So it's important that you form a publishing company under yourself, so that when you do get a record deal, you still own the rights to that song. So when it's played, you get the royalties on that song, because the record label is going to take theirs off the top in the very beginning. Yeah. Yeah. They're going to take theirs off the top in the very beginning. Yeah. They're going to recoup their investments. That's why it is so important that you understand the marketing game. Mm-hmm. If you trademark your name, then you own it, not the record label. Because if the record label trademarks it, you're dead in the water from then on. Because they can shelve you for 5 years or 6 years. And you guys have heard of artists who can't come out with stuff for 5 years because they got into a shitty deal. Mm-hmm. And now the company owns the name. They done trademarked the name. They done trademarked the likeness. And they tell them, you cannot do anything that even like, similar to, close to, than this. Sit there, be still.
Yeah. That's what they can do about it.
Right. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying is that it is a business. Mm-hmm. It is a business.
Yeah. I was told, and I actually made sure that, I discussed, about what I can speak on and what I was told, because, I've made contact with management here, just about local music, that there were going to be mechanisms, that they were already working on mechanisms months ago, before this protest even started.
And I can say that's true. I can say that's true. What it is, when Philip March first got here, he asked me that question, what do I think about local music? Mm-hmm. What's the local music scene like? Because Philip is actually from here. He started way back with JYL back in the day. So he's from here. But he took the time to ask that question, what is the local music scene like? And I gave him the backstory, the good, the bad, the ugly, the days of Ephesi. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Before Ephesi, after Ephesi left, the whole bit. To give him a culture that there's local music here. There's some talented cats here, man, that should be on the radio. Okay, that should be getting some love from the station. And he asked me the question, what did I think about, bringing local music back? I told him it's needed. We need to do something. So that seed, he actually looked into it, and that's what people don't know, you see, and you're right. Yeah. Folks don't know that when he first got here, he asked about local music. Yeah. He asked that question.
The perception, like you said, keyword perception, is that B96 just doesn't care. Mainline doesn't care about that.
That's not it.
What was told to me directly was that there were people in here that care and that are actually pushing this forward.
You got DJs in here that care, like myself. I care about local music. I was part of the local music scene. I was part of that energy that pushed it on the radio.
You're an artist yourself.
And I'm an artist myself. Yeah, right. You got EB in here. You got Q. These cats are not cats that don't mess with local artists. Yeah. Right. Yeah. These cats have, an affiliation with local artists every day in what they do. Especially y'all with Dope16. That's nothing but local artists.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Q with what he does. With his mix shows and all the things. With Fresh was his boy, local artist who's on doing his own thing. Yeah. So you see, there is an affinity for us to do local music. Y'all got local love in this station. You got a whole lot of local love in this station. All I'm saying, don't mess that up over misinformation or not having the right information. Yeah. Because it's here. You guys have folks in here that want to play local music. I say it again, that wants to play local music.
I feel like a lot of this information was actually a phone call away.
All of it was. Yeah. All of it was a phone call away. Yeah. Just say, listen, let me pick your ear a minute. Just like y'all doing right now, what you doing right now. Let me get the right information out there. Yeah. And now you can either say, man, that's bullshit. He's just a puppet. He's man, I'm too old. I'm too old to be a puppet, man. I'm 52 years old. I quit being a puppet a long time ago. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. All right. This station here is not my main gig. Yeah. So what I say is what I say. Yeah. I mean, me being fired, what's gonna happen to me? Please. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. What I'm talking to you guys about, this is real talk. Ain't no sugarcoating, ain't no bullshit.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it.
I don't have no strings.
This
ain't nobody's
is all I want.
hand.
I want candid conversation.
Ain't nobody's hand in my back.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna run out of here and say, well, I said this on that, and I just wanna. This ain't no step and fetch it.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Yeah. Okay, I ain't gonna, this ain't no Django shit. I'm ready. What's your name, Django? And then I'm come blasting. No, that ain't it. This ain't 12 years as a slave. Right. None of that bullshit. Right? None of that. This is grown people talking in here, and then they ask me would I speak on something I know something back. I volunteer to speak on this. Yeah. Ain't nobody pulling no strings, so I don't want y'all to get it twisted.
Exactly.
I'm just being honest.
I'll definitely speak on that. Okay. I asked, could I speak to somebody who definitely has, a long tenure with radio that knows what they're talking about, like you said, that understands from an artist standpoint, from business standpoint, and definitely Herlon really stepped up. And I mean, I really appreciate this knowledge.
Yeah, man.
I hope everybody else
does too. It's just it, man. I hope they do too.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
And if you notice, I'm not slamming nobody. I'm not here, man. I'm just putting it out like it is. No. We want to play it.
Yeah, honestly,
we want to play it.
I put out. I'm not actually trying to slam Diesel person. I'm really not doing that. Really could have been anyone who it was the actions. It was just the actions.
Right. It could have been anyone.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't dislike him as a person or anything like that. It was just the actions. No. And I just felt like it was time for somebody to sit down and get some real knowledge.
And I appreciated him taking the time to talk.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, so I take my hat off to him for at least taking the time to hear my opinion and then me hearing his. And it's all about dialogue. It's all about communication. It's all about being an active listener. Yeah. And actually taking the time to hear and to decipher and digest what the other person is saying to you so that you can respond accordingly without the internal interference and the external interference, which will inhibit a person's ability to understand and take in what another person is, which clouds communication. Yeah. You see, so I say to him, thanks for calling. I'm glad, he and I got to talk, And what I said to him is that I could say the same thing on the air, so I ain't going to say nothing different. Yeah. I did say to him that we should consider, the station should consider playing legitimately good local music.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, and from what I've been told, definitely. They're trying to take steps to do it.
They're trying to.
They're trying to take steps to do it where, like I said, where artists can actually earn their way on the air.
I mean, it
without being signed to a major label.
Right.
You know?
I mean, you got to prove to us that you got your stuff in order. You know, we want to play it for you so that you get that fame and you can build upon it. You know, if we're just giving you 50 minutes of fame, you ain't doing nothing with it, man. We just threw pearls to swine.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
We just put a diamond on a pig.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly, we have to think about it.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of that going on a few years ago when artists were getting played.
Right.
You would hear it and then no one could download it.
Right.
There was nowhere you couldn't a YouTube video, nothing.
Right,
You just couldn't find anything. So what was the
Right.
use of playing it?
Thank you. You know, we want you to get some mileage out of what we're playing for you. We want you to use it in a way that helps you get to that next level. If that's what you're trying to do. If that's what you're legitimately trying to do, then let us be that piece of the puzzle that you need to get there.
Yeah, it needs to be in the marketing strategy and not the marketing strategy.
Right.
Got you.
There you go. It's got to be part of that.
Got you.
Because it is part of it. It's not the.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, when Coca-Cola and all them went out, they didn't throw Coke machines up everywhere. They let people sample the Coke and taste it and trial and error. And then, you know what I mean? They don't just throw a product out. What they do, they send you a sample of it before they start putting it on anything. Yeah. They don't just put it in, you know, okay, yeah, this is good to me. Yeah, good to you. Yeah, let's put it in.
Yeah.
That's not how it works, man.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I really appreciate the knowledge that you.
Yeah, man. I've enjoyed this.
A lot of gems.
I've enjoyed this. You know what I mean? I don't mind. Yeah. And anybody out there that wants to sit and talk and ask questions about marketing and what's the best way, you know, they can just hit me up, man. They can just reach out to me. I'm not, I'm very accessible. I can run through a list of guys that still call me today and say, hey, what do you think about this? There's a guy that called me yesterday and said, hey, what do you think about this particular artist coming here at this venue? And, how do you feel about that? You think it is? Because I'm always willing to give out that information, man. It's not something I want to hold on to. Yeah. And I was telling him, man, it's like me being a farmer, man. I throw seeds out there. How they grow is how they grow. I ain't looking for no harvest. You know what I'm saying? I just throw them out there. If they grow and sprout and fruit from that comes, then cool. If not,
up to you to use that information.
Up to you to use that information. So just letting folks know that, you young artists out there, those rappers out there, if you want me to listen to your stuff and tell you exactly how I feel about it, there's a cat named Just Russ, man. Yeah.
I'm familiar with Just Russ.
Ask him about me.
Yeah.
I remember him when he was raw and uncut, letting me listen to his stuff. But he listened. Yeah. And now look where he's at. I mean, I could go through a list of artists that have taken the time, that I've taken the time to just sit down with and just giving ideas to, and listen to their stuff and say, you may want to work on that hook, or, what are you saying here? What are you doing here?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people really need someone to say, that's not perfect. They don't need the yes men in their crew.
No.
I've done production and engineering for years, so it's times I've had to tell people, look,
right.
And we need to go back and just redo it. We need to go back to the
there you go. And as artists, man, you rappers out there, you can't be, you can't act like it's your firstborn. You know what I mean? It's a process. Exactly. I mean, I play with 6 guys that are professional musicians. And I have to take criticism every time. Yeah. And I can't be like, well, nah, y'all ain't know what y'all talking about. Fuck y'all. Yeah. I've been with them for going on, 10 years now. All right. And it's all about a process. You know what I mean? I want to be the best at my craft. So if you hear me go sharp or you hear me go flat or you think I should have, by all means, tell me. Don't let me get up there and I'm sounding all crazy. Yeah. Don't do that, So it's all about taking constructive criticism and going back to the lab, using that knowledge and saying, yeah. Because the stuff that I used to hear, there were minor mistakes, man. Mm-hmm. Mixing was one. Mixing was a big mistake. There's a lot of not mixed correctly.
A lot of stuff sounds terrible in the mix.
Right.
A lot of terrible stuff.
You would see the energy of the track ebb and flow, instead of keeping that energy there all the way through. Mm-hmm. Or the rap would be lackluster, but the hook would be so strong. So there was no consistency throughout the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Or the background vocals were larger, longer, louder than the lead vocals when it's supposed to be vice versa. Mm-hmm. The lead vocals are always supposed to set a little bit before the music and the background vocals. Exactly. You see? So those are little things. The intro was too long. You got a minute intro. Hey, we don't have a minute on the radio to play an intro. Right. Your song should be no more than 4 minutes long, really. You can go 4:23, you can go 4:30, but that's max. We're fading out at a certain time. You got to understand, we're fading out at a certain time.
Yeah.
At 3:53, we're fading.
Right.
Yeah.
See, and most rappers don't understand that. We're fading at 3:53. Your song should start to fade at 3:53 and be faded out by 4 minutes.
Right.
You can go to 4:12, but your song shouldn't be no longer than that.
No one's gonna hear it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what you do on the CD itself is different, but for radio, they're like, again, it's about that business. You have to understand.
You gotta play by the rules.
Right. We don't have all time. We don't have all day to listen for your hook to come in. We don't have all day to listen for when you get to your, wait for you to get warmed up. You got to come right out the gate because that's all you got on the radio. Most folks, if they listen for the first 5, 6, 7 seconds, if it don't catch them in that, they switching.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, so those are the things that you got to know as an artist. But you don't get that unless you sit down with somebody that's in radio that says, hey, listen, man, let me listen to your stuff. And you got to change that.
Yeah.
Now, they don't want to play my stuff. No, your stuff may not be that good to be played.
It may not be ready.
They're not ready.
Yeah,
That's it.
And that's just a harsh reality.
That's the harsh reality.
Well, I do want to ask you. You said that people can reach out to you.
Right.
What's some of the ways that people that I know you don't want 1,000 Facebook messages. I know you.
But I don't mind. I mean, they can hit me. My email address is just Herlon_Robinson at yahoo.com. You can send me your music that way, and I'll respond right back to you. I'll listen to it, and I'll respond back. I'll give you constructive criticism right then and there.
Okay.
If you want to know a little more about the radio game, or if you want to say, hey, man, I have a marketing idea. How do you think I should market it? Then, you know what? I'll answer those questions. Gotcha. I'll answer those questions,
Gotcha.
If you want to sit down and say, hey, what do you think about this packaging? Does it work? Listen to all my songs. And I'll even tell you how to arrange your songs. You see, I will sit down with you and say, because there's a science to arranging songs on a CD.
It's very important.
It's very important.
I don't think people really realize
right,
that.
but see, that's another.
It's a lost. It's
right.
very lost.
But that's another nugget. There's a way that you arrange your songs because you want them listening from beginning to end. You don't want them skipping around finding the best songs, or they will only listen to the best songs. Right. So there's a method to the madness. You got to keep them listening from beginning to end, all the way through. Right. So those are the things that I'm willing to give folks and listen to their stuff and say, yeah, man, you might want to put this cut here and this cut here. Now listen to it how it flows. And when I do that, most guys go, dang, man.
Makes sense.
That makes sense, man. My CD sound a whole lot better now that it's like that. And I'll tell you, that song don't need to be there.
Yeah. Right.
I'll tell you, I don't know what you were doing with that one. That song doesn't even go with what you're trying to say.
Gotcha. Well, look, I'm not gonna pull any more gems out of you right now because I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna have to pay you to get all this.
I'll keep looking at the clock, man. Thank you out.
All right, like I said, we appreciate all the information, all the knowledge. Herlon, appreciate it again.
You got it, man. Anytime.
We definitely gotta get you on some seminars, get you on something.
Yeah, man. Panel, seminars, whatever. Just give me a call. We work together every day. We see each other, so He's always got a video for me to check out, so it's always something. So just reach out, man. I'm there. I'd love to be a part of it, man. Love to be a part of it.
That'll work, man. Dope16tv, John Woo, Herlon Robinson, your man Beezy.
Yes.
We signing out. Appreciate you again.
All right.